Welcome to Basketballheadzz Live. We at it again. The Black Friday hoodie sale. I am your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And this is what we doing tonight. But first, there's a subject I like to touch on. I've been watching a lot of videos on the NBA. And let me just say this. I haven't watched a full NBA game in like 5 years. Am I hating on the NBA? No, I love the game of basketball, as you can see. But there's something that goes on in sports that a lot of people don't talk about. And that who controls the final outcome of the game? Is it the players? Is it the referees? Or is it the organizations? What up, Phil? I know you have a lot of knowledge in this. I just want to know, who controls the final outcome of the game? Now, let me play something for you real quick so you understand what I'm talking about.
Generates over $8 billion annually. The NBA is a big business, and running that business can
All right, let me take that back so you hear what they're saying. All right? Check this out.
Did you know that the NBA league generates over $8 billion annually? The NBA is a big business, and running that business can involve vetoing trades, prolonging playoff series, and enabling big market teams to get high draft picks.
$8 billion. And they probably undercutting a few billion here and there. But the NBA is an $8 billion a year business. With so much money going on, do you think that the NBA is going to allow the players to decide the outcomes of the game? I want to know. Do you think the NBA will allow the players, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Magics, the Shaqs, the Kobe's, RIP, the Dr. J's, the Larry Birds, the Isaiah Thomas, to control the outcome of the games? Well, we know that since the beginning of the TV deals, and this is how all the sports players get paid, through the TV deals. Now, it takes me back to my time when I was in college. And I'm going to my coach, and I'm trying to, get some more equipment, some more sneakers, another sweatsuit or two. And I walk into the office, and he's in a great mood. So I already know if Tom Green is in a great mood, Glenn is going to walk out with 2 handfuls, sneakers, sweatsuits, t-shirts, shorts, socks, you name it. So my coach is excited. And I'm going, Coach, why are you so happy? He said, Glenn, we just struck a deal with Wake Forest. And I was like, cool, we get to play against Wake Forest. He said, no, we don't just play against them. We go down there, play at their house, and then they come up here to New Jersey, and they play in our house. And we're going to put a whipping on them. What's up to all my people that's in the room or stop by? And I was like, wow, we really going to play, give these guys in the ACC a run for their money. He said, Glenn, do you remember when I told you that college sports is a business? I said, yeah, Coach, definitely. He said, well, let me explain to you the business side of college sports. So I sat down in the chair, and I'm listening. I'm just a sophomore at this time, or a junior. I think I'm a junior at this time. It's the beginning of the season. And my coach said, well, here's an $80,000 check. First time I ever saw an $80,000 check. And he said, this is what the school gets. Out of this check comes your guys' hotel, food, and the stipend. You know that couple of $100 we give y'all every time we go out of town to a neighboring school? It's like, yeah, Coach. He said, well, this is the side of sports that you guys have no idea that takes place. So, wow, tell me more. He said, well, Wake Forest gave us $80,000 because they feel like they're going to beat us. So they're paying for 2 wins. I'm like, we're not going to let them do that. We're not going to just lay down and let them walk all over us. My coach said, no, no, no. This is how the business of basketball is played. And I'm saying to myself, wow, no one is ever telling you this in high school, because no money is exchanged in high school. So I understand why Kenny Anderson, New York City legend, said the best time he had playing basketball was when he was in high school. Because when you get to college, you get a taste of the business, especially if you're playing Division I basketball. And those of you know that there's a lot of money being exchanged. Our coach at the time, we a small school. He was getting paid 200 or some thousand, I think. Maybe $175, $250 at the time. With a sneaker deal. So he's collecting 2 checks. And at that time, the sneaker companies would pay the coaches directly. Now, the money goes to the athletic director, and the athletic director distributes the money. I think the only person, as far as Nike, the only person that was getting paid directly was Mike Krzyzewski. Everybody else, the money goes to the athletic department, and they spread it out through all those sports teams. So my coach was, you know, raking in the dough back then, especially in the late 80s, early 90s. So now, you think about the next level, the NBA, where everybody's getting paid. And FYI, a lot of the sports owners, especially the first sports owners that started all of these teams, all of them have gambling backgrounds. Yes, look it up. A lot of the original owners have gambling backgrounds. So now, you have a situation where you have owners that are working together under the guise of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. But right now, we're just talking about the NBA. Early on, when games wasn't on TV, because I remember that time, it was on tape delay. So we was watching the games that already been played already. It wasn't live like it is today, with millions of people watching. They're creating the storylines to get us interested, building up the anticipation for great entertainment. And that's all it is. It's entertainment. Sports as a whole is entertainment. On a high school level, we're competing, right? Best team wins. In most cases, that's how it is in high school sports. This is why I love high school sports, because it's so pure and untampered with, unless, you know, the teams are lopsided. But when you got some dogs on each team, you never know what the outcome is going to be. Now you move to the big stage. And if it's on television, somebody else has their hands in who is going to win and who's going to lose. You take it to the next level in professional sports. Why would these organizations leave it up to the players to decide the games? I'll wait. Now, I know we all love the game, and your boy Pooh is not hating. I have no hate in me. I just put up some things today. Been watching a lot of TV because I've been home the last couple of days. well, not TV. I'm on YouTube a lot, so go figure. But I'm watching the things I want to watch. And I'm saying to myself, damn, remember 1985, the draft with Patrick Ewing? Now, mind you, Patrick Ewing just coming up with a great Big East run. Best player in America. And now, instead of having a coin flip, they're going to have an NBA draft. Yes, with envelopes and all. And this was all new to us. We was like, yeah, this sounds awesome. Come to find out, the envelope was bent. They stuck the envelope in the freezer so it'll be colder than the rest of the envelopes. And the Knicks landed Patrick Ewing. Go figure. Now, I know there's other conspiracy theories, but I just want to start off with that because I remember that being a young kid. You know, I'm just getting into basketball. My first NBA championship game or first basketball game was 1980 with Los Angeles Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers because I was a big Dr. J fan. But when you see things like this later on and you see that, wow, the envelope was bent, David Stern knew that Patrick Ewing was going to the Knicks. Everyone knew except the fans. And what is fans short for? Fanatics. So when you see people with their face painted, they're at these sports games, they got the shirt on, they got the hat on, they got the #1 glove on, they're drunk out their mind, they're screaming, they're yelling, and they figuring that they're watching a game that's being called fairly. Now, speaking of calls, there's another aspect we have to talk about, and that's the referees. What about the referees? Come on. The referees play a part in the game. They can change the game. And if you put great players in position to be the great players that they are, they're going to shine. So a referee calling 2 fouls in the first quarter, as a fan, we're not thinking about that call, those first 2 fouls in the first quarter, because we like they got the rest of the game to play. But that shifts momentum. Now, coaches got to change strategies, bring other guys off the bench to protect their star players. If you are in the NBA, you are capable of doing great things. This is why you are in the NBA. I'm going to play something. I just want y'all to listen, you know, for those who are still here with me.
If you love conspiracy.
All right? And when it comes down to it, yes, I won't say conspiracy theorist. I'm a truth seeker. I like to seek out the truth. So let's listen for a minute.
Did you know that the NBA league generates over $8 billion annually? The NBA is a big business, and running that business can involve vetoing trades, prolonging playoff series, and enabling big market teams to get high draft picks. If you love conspiracy theories, then this video is for you, because here are the most controversial moments in NBA history. 2002 Western Conference Finals.
The topic tonight, as you can see, we selling hoodies. If you want a couple hoodie, we got them for sale. $40 today. After today, go back to $50. But this is what we're doing for the movement. You know what I'm saying? But I have a question for you while you're here. Since, you know, you're the only one here right now. Do you think the NBA was rigged? That's what I want to talk about today. I'm just having this conversation because I haven't watched a basketball game in like 5 years. Now, have I watched it because I think the NBA is rigged? No. I just don't like the style of basketball that's being played right now. Appreciate you, fam. What do you think? Do you think the NBA is rigged? When we talk about getting to the championship level, you know, I remember that year the New Jersey Nets got to the NBA Finals, and they would have been playing against, I think, the Sacramento Kings. They couldn't have two small markets playing in the NBA championship. It don't generate enough money. At the end of the day, it's all about the cash. And they playing these NBA players this astronomical amount of money, and we think all is fair. Yeah, I know it's a high level. I get it. I get it. I understand it's a high level of ball, high level. But trust me, there's still people pulling the strings to make things happen. I get that. I get that. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that the guys, this have nothing to do with the players. This have nothing to do with the players. What I'm saying, who controls the final outcomes of these games? That's what I'm saying. And if you put great players in position to be great, whether it's Dwayne Wade going 21 for 25 against the Dallas Mavericks, 21 for 25. One player had more free throw attempts than the whole team. How do we account for that? How do we account? Again, you put great players in position to be great, things gonna happen. You tell me. Now, do I agree that these players are more talented than the players of the past? Yes, I get it. But for some reason, they can't keep my attention to watching them play. Because I already know how the game is going to turn out. It's crazy to even say. You know, there's no unpredictability. Even in the way they play. Most of these guys play the same. You have a few sprinkles here and there. But the game is basically the same. Every team plays the same way. And whether you know it or not, NBA ratings are down. They're not as what they used to be. So if the players are getting better, the viewership should be up way more if they're way better. But you have a great point. I just want to get down to when it's all said and done, who's controlling things when it comes to certain teams getting to the championship. Remember, it's about viewership. It's all entertainment. That's all it is. And I think sometimes we as fans get caught up and say, well, the best team won. Yeah, sometimes that's true in the regular season. And sometimes not even that. Come on if you have some time. I want to hear your thoughts.
Game 6. The Sacramento Kings had the best record in the league in 2002 and were on the brink of their first NBA Finals, leading the Lakers 3-2 in the West Finals. The Lakers didn't have a solution for the super talented Kings, and that's when the officials decided to offer a helping hand.
Peace, fam.
OG.
What's up?
What up, baby?
What's going on? So, you know, I've been heavy. I've been deep in watching a lot of nostalgic games, right?
Right.
So, I'm watching a few of these games, and I'm saying, damn, I remember seeing this game, but not watching it from the eyes that I'm watching it now.
Right.
Because I was watching from a fan perspective, even though I'm still a fan.
Right.
But as you get older and you see things a little bit differently, you're like, hold on. right? And then the guy, the referee, Doherty, he comes out with his book. He get caught in the scandal, and he's letting you know, yo, we having meetings about.
He can't be the only one, OG. He can't be the only one.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not just pointing them out. But when you have meetings about slowing Allen Iverson down, right? Let's slow him down.
Yeah.
Let's call that carry when he crossed guys over.
Right. That they wasn't calling before. When he first got in there, they wasn't calling it. They wasn't saying nothing. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
When I look at things like that, and then I go back, I remember watching the 1985 draft.
Right, and that's Hewen, that's Pat Hewen, okay.
Right now, new ownership just acquired the Madison Square Garden and the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things was happening.
Okay,
they needed the Knicks to be a contender again. They haven't won since the 70s.
Right.
You got the biggest market in sports, and they're not winning. We have to fix this.
Is that the frozen envelope? David Stern goes in there. It's a little colder than the other ones. I got you.
Brother.
I got you.
You already know.
You know, I'm a student, OG. I'm a student.
So when I see this, I'm saying to myself, wow, the Cleveland Cavaliers getting the hometown hero. How many times does that happen?
Right. Not too many. If ever. Right.
Okay? Now, let's go back to the Stephon Marbury being getting drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And people forget that Steph got drafted by the Bucks. He could have went to Milwaukee had Minnesota said, we want him and we don't want Ray. We're going to trade him for Ray. That could have went a completely different direction, him being in Milwaukee. You know, like...
No, they had to follow the script. The script was make sure Stephon plays with his childhood friend, Kevin Garnett. We need Kevin Garnett to get out of the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Steph went there a couple of years, couldn't take it. Minnesota and him didn't mix. Not the team-wise, just the whole living environment.
Right.
And he wanted to be his own guy. So, since he didn't follow the NBA code, what happened to Stephon after that?
OG, it's crazy we having this conversation. My best friend is a Stephon Marbury fan, and the conversation was, that's off topic, but is he a Hall of Famer, right? And people go back and forth about, is he a Hall of Famer? In my opinion, he is. I don't know about first ballot, but he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, right? It's basketball. It's basketball.
Let's look at his numbers real quick.
Only guy to average 20 and 8 for 8 straight seasons.
There you go. Only guy. You hit it right there.
Only guy to ever do that, right? But when Steph doesn't conform to what the NBA is trying to do, by 2009, he's gone. Like, by 2009, that should be still his prime. He's gone. He's not even a thought anymore in terms of top point guards in the league, top guys in the league. He's out of there. And, they'd rather, in my opinion, I think they would rather deal with Allen and what he was bringing and not deal with Steph.
Yeah.
They did him dirty.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
Because
he didn't follow the script.
They did him dirty.
There's a certain script you have to follow. And I tell people, I played the video earlier. It's an $8 billion a year business. No player is getting paid that much.
And there's only 450 jobs. Only 450 jobs. So now, $8 billion, they bring in $8 billion worth of revenue. Only 450 jobs. I love the NBA, but the business side of it, I can't give. It's too nasty for me.
Yo, Fleet, listen. When my coach brought me in the office and said to me, we're going to play Wake Forest, and they gave us $80,000. I didn't understand that. I was like, for what?
Wow.
I thought we play each other for free. He was like,
Right.
no, the big schools pay us for wins.
But
This is why the
FDU
upset comes in. Because if they
FDU was
lose,
a smaller FDU was a smaller school
yes,
than Wake. So
right.
right.
So
Right.
if we win, Wake Forest is upset.
The first time I understood what the term upset means is from Glenn Harden, y'all. Let me let y'all know something. Pooh is the one that explained to me what an upset actually means. It's not the better, the worst team or the less talented team winning. It's literally if the smaller school wins, the smaller institution, the one that doesn't have the most money gets the win. That's what we upset you guys. Yo, Pooh, when you put that information out there, brother, that's probably common knowledge to people. I didn't know that.
No, you really think it is. Because remember, you gotta understand, for the most part, you know, if you played the game, if you was a guy, right? You playing in high school, you have people cheering for you. You know what it's like. You playing in college, you know what it's like when people come up to you. If they ask you for your autograph, wanted a pair of your sneakers, it's kind of crazy because you're a regular person.
Right.
Not knowing the other end to that word is the addict, the fanatic. And we get so caught up. And remember what he said in Gladiator. You want to be entertained?
Are you not entertained? Yeah. I'm with you.
As long as they put on what they say they're going to put on, whether it's a football game, basketball game, hockey, as long as you get a game.
How do you fix the issue, though, Pooh?
There's no fixing.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, brother. With this new Metaverse about to come on to the scene, we're looking at, I don't want to say the end of sports, but you're going to see a major decline in sports and people paying attention and having their focus there.
Okay.
Now, maybe I'm a hopeful person. I hope people are able to play the game in the future. But the way I'm seeing the world change,
sports is going to get affected at some point.
No. And what are we going to start paying these dudes?
The number just keeps rising. The number just keeps going up. Keep going up. They paying John Wall $40 million right now to not play. To not play. He's getting a 40 spot to not even play.
What about Gilbert? Gilbert is still getting paid. He's doing a podcast, still getting paid for the NBA.
And Gil proud as hell of that too. He's like, I'm still getting paid from them. Still. Yeah.
You think in the back of their mind, they don't want to, not have these guaranteed contracts for dudes like that who got caught with a legal weapon in the locker room?
It's tough. It's tough.
Crazy. Hold on. What my man Kick Mega said. He said the business is crazy. Yes. He said I will come up every summer from Europe, pray the Lakers play in the summer league. He said, and the scouts have my game, but Phil wish I was BS. What he said in that? Cause I can't really. I need some glasses. I need to get some soon.
Let me read it, Pooh. They business of it is crazy. I will come every summer from Europe and play in the Lakers Summer Pro League. The scouts love my game, but Phil would wish I would say. Okay, so I guess he's saying that the business of basketball kind of steps in when whether you're good or not. Business of basketball.
It don't make a difference.
It's always going to hold pressure. Right.
If everybody is great, right? Like a Dwayne Wade, and you want to make sure that Dwayne Wade stars bright, but you don't want to let the Dallas Mavericks get to the NBA. It's not their time yet. Yeah. We want to make sure that this guy grows up in the NBA and become a superstar. How do we do it? We put him in a line 25 times. He's a great player. He's going to make most of them. And he went 21 for 25.
Everybody don't remember that. Yeah, that
he
piece
shot
of
more,
that final.
He shot. Look it up. He shot more than the Mavericks' whole team.
That's crazy. Pooh, I gotta run, bro. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yo,
thank you for stopping by, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some information because I need a couple shirts and a hoodie, bro. I need it.
Got you. We're gonna do that.
Appreciate you always, brother. Appreciate you always. All right.
Peace. King Mega, let's holler, man. I want to hear your version. You're a guy. You're a pro player. You know what it's like on the other side, right? A lot of people could talk about it. I've never been in that position. I keep it 100. You've been in that position. You know what it's like. The business side, on the court, right? Maybe you could share and bring some light to this situation. Another time. Appreciate you. But I would love to hear your thoughts, because we can all talk about it, but a lot of us never been there. I only can, judge from what I'm looking at on being on the outside. There's a lot of things that go on in the NBA that we're not privy to. All right? Let's talk about Anthony Davis knowing he was going to get drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He knew. This is, what, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks before the draft. He knew. Now, you may be privy to who's going to draft you. You already know you're going number one. Chris Paul, right? They don't have an owner at the time. So who is overseeing the Hornets at this time? That's David Stern. He was the overseer at the time. And Chris Paul wanted to get traded to the Lakers to play with Kobe. Kobe wanted Chris Paul with him. They deaded that whole deal. And then a couple of days later, let him go to the Clippers. Because they knew if Chris Paul goes with Kobe, Kobe's going to win more championships. Now, they already know who they want to win. They already know who want to win. Phil Jackson's being interviewed. It's an interview online of Phil Jackson explaining that the reason why the game turned out the way it was because of the referees. And you get fined if you talk about the referees. You can't even say the referees called a bad game without paying for it. Michael Jordan, who I think is the greatest of all times. There was a gambling scandal. His father got murdered. He left basketball, played baseball for 2 years. When he came back, there was no more talk about gambling. People were so happy Michael Jordan came back, they could have cared less what he did. Now, does that take away from the fact that he was great? No. But it was information that was out there that showed that there was some favoritism. Of course, you want to protect the league's star player. It goes on to the day with LeBron. And this has no knock on LeBron. LeBron been to like 10 straight championships, something like that. Could you fathom not seeing LeBron in the championship? Could anyone? It's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. But we want to say, the best team won. And they got another one. You got to do your research. That's all you have to do. I love the game. I love the game. But the higher you go up, the food chain, things change. The outcomes are different. When the New Jersey Nets went to the championship, there's no way they could have had the New Jersey Nets play against the Sacramento Kings. 2 small markets. Really? All right. Whenever you want to come through, King Mega, definitely holler at you, fam. Got you. Got you. This is how real it is. Whenever you thinking about who's in the championship, who goes to the championship, why they're there, step back and take a think. Take some time to think about what you're actually looking at. Are the two best teams there because they were the two best teams? Or there's something else involved? The NBA is an $8 billion a year business. It's so much money being made. There's no way they'll leave it up to the players. Today, I just found out that all three of Muhammad Ali championships were fixed. Go and do the research. Now, did he know? I don't know. But the people on the other side had a clue because they was involved. Remember, Sonny Liston, he was being managed by the people in Kentucky. Oh yeah, that mob money. As soon as he won that championship, he got with the Muslims, changed his name, and got with an army that could protect him. Now that's boxing, so we're not going to get into all that. I go into football, all of these things that's happening. But right now, we're talking about basketball. NBA. Is the NBA rigged? I want to know. What's your thoughts on it? Who's in the room? Kev, what's up? Robert Williams, what's up? I'm inviting y'all in if y'all want to talk about basketball. Is NBA fixed? Now, again, I'll go back. You know, one of the things that stuck with me during my Kenny Anderson interview, and he played on every level. Every level. And on every level, I think, except the NBA, he was the best player in the whole country, high school and college, if not the best point guard. And he said, yo, G, the best time I had was playing high school basketball. And I could say the same thing. Because once you get to college, the game changes. The business aspect of sports kicks in. How many people are prepared for the business aspect of basketball? A lot of people aren't prepared for that. You have to have thick skin. You have to be prepared to get told, you know, we're going to trade you because we don't need you anymore. We're going to bring in someone else. Or what happened? So let's go back to, excuse me. The New York Knicks have had the biggest championship drought, right? But with the NBA Finals in 1999. Great number. Remember that year? That lockout year? And they was able to get to the championship or the finals against Houston and shot bricks all the way through. How did they get there? How did they get there? Well, the Knicks are also in the midst of being the biggest winners in the most prolific free agent class in recent memory. Believe me, the Knicks will be at the least the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012. No way they're going to go more than 10 years without success. So I remember them when I was a kid winning in the 70s. And they didn't win for until they got to that championship in 1999. But they needed to build off of someone. They needed another star. So they got Patrick Ewing to come to the Knicks. How did they do that? We talked about it earlier. During the fixed NBA draft. So if they started off the NBA draft in 1985 and that was fixed, what's to say that everything after that wasn't? How did Cleveland get LeBron James, the hometown hero? Oh, what about, this is going to trip y'all out. I want someone to look up the Cleveland Cavaliers' first championship and tell me the date. If someone can tell me the date, I got a free t-shirt for you. Who can tell me the date? Put up the date. The Cleveland Cavaliers' first championship with LeBron. That the only one. Get a free t-shirt. Who want to put up the date for me? Cleveland Cavaliers. What's up? What's up? Anyone? Anyone know when the Cleveland Cavaliers won their first championship? What was the date? What was the date on that? I'm going to blow your minds with this one. Anyone have the date? The Cleveland Cavaliers' first championship. What was the date? And once you put up that date, you got it right. I want you to DM me your address. I'm sending out your t-shirt tomorrow. Or if you're in New York, I'll meet up with you and give it to you. Either way, you'll get it. Anyone, anyone. Was it June 8th? Word? You sure about that? Somebody saying, June 19th. We got a winner. Yo, Kev, come on, man. That's not fair, Kev. But I still got you, my dude. Kev, let me holler at you. You got it, my brother. You got it. Right. June 19th, right? Do you know whose birthday is June 19th? King James of the Bible.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Now, you know how I know? Because Barack Obama, former president of the United States, he sent out a tweet the night of the game. He said, I would like to thank King James and the Cavaliers for winning the championship. So I got on my phone. Appreciate you, Kev. Now, when Barack Obama sent out that tweet, I had to go do my little research. Found out that was King James' birthday. Who knew? What do they call LeBron? King James. And you know, King James from the Bible, he was part of a secret society called what? The Cavaliers. You can't make this up. People, go do your research. Trust me, there's another side to Glenn besides the sports thing. I like to teach history as well. It was the Cavaliers. King James was part of a secret society called the Cavaliers. You can't make this stuff up. So, of course, they was going to let LeBron and his team win that series. And it's one for Cleveland. Cleveland, we did it. Listen, sports is about capturing people's emotions. Sports, without sports, I wouldn't have been able to get a free scholarship. So I'm not knocking sports at all. What's up, Perry? What up, 2A? What's going on? I'm not knocking sports, but I understand there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. And once you start to understand that, you'll realize it's all entertainment. It's the greatest distraction. What up, fam? That's what sports is. It's something to get your mind off things that's going on, maybe in your life, maybe in the world. But the people that control this knows. This goes back to the Roman days, to the gladiator days. If you can keep the people focused on sports, their minds won't be thinking about anything else. We just looking for our next big fix, which comes from sports and a tweaking of our emotions. Now, do sports help people? Yes. Yes. Do anybody know who created basketball? Some more giveaways. Come on. Who was the inventor of basketball? You should know that. We're going to get deep into this thing. Who created basketball? Or supposedly they said created basketball. I'm going to give a man his props. Hey, baby girl. Naismith, James Naismith. Correct. Correct. James Naismith. Now, did you know? My guy Perry Heard, right? Did you know? I said the Incas. If you think about it, right? But their hoops, let me show y'all. Their hoops was like this, right? Their hoops was this way. And those who won were sacrificed. So I get it. And he turned the hoops parallel. Well, James Naismith, when he got to Kansas University, and they made him, I think, the athletic director or in charge of sports or basketball, whatever his job was, he quit. Do your research. He quit and walked away because he saw what they was doing to the sport. the level of competition. So he walked away from it. He created the game, got hired by Kansas University, and then walked away from the sport. You would think that the Basketball Hall of Fame would have been in Kansas. Go figure. He said a slave. Yo, there's a video I put up a long time ago where they said Naismith will watch black people run around with straw balls or these little rubber balls that they had. And they would be shooting into the basket running around. And he took that, plus maybe what they was doing over in the Mayans and their civilization. How they had the hoop, right? The same way that I'm staring to the lights. Show you guys. If I can just turn this around, right? So this was the hoops, right? This is how the hoops was back then, during the Mayan civilization. And then he flipped it and turned it around. Now back then, the winners was sacrificed. It was like a good thing to sacrifice your life after a win. What are these guys sacrificing today? A lot of times, they're not in on what's going on. Remember Stephen Curry's wife? Remember what she said? She said the game is rigged. She saw it live. She heard it before. Wow. Look at that. Salute to Grandma. Let me know if you got some time to come on. This is crazy. When you think about the origins of sports and how they come to fruition and have people captivated. You know, when the ABA was alive, the ABA was innovative. They had the three-point contest, the dunk contest, they had entertainment in between the games. All the things that the NBA do now, the ABA did in the 70s. Almost everything that they're doing now in the NBA. The NBA was boring. The NBA also didn't have that many black players. This is why a lot of the guys went to the ABA was paying. And they let you be you. They let you free and boogie. You know, it wasn't as organized and as tight, you know, as tightly run as the NBA. So you had that flair. You had guys that, you know, the Dr. J's, the George Gervins, all those guys in the early NBA, in the early ABA that made the NBA what it is today. Even though Bill Russell and Boston Celtics was winning all those championships, it wasn't on television. That didn't happen till Dr. J got to the league, till Magic Johnson and Larry Bird got to the league. We started seeing it the way it was. And back then, early 80s was tape delay. I understand. I may be busting a lot of people's bubbles on what sports mean to them. I get it. I understand. I was a part of it. I know. It just took me a long time to get used to people coming up asking me for my autograph. Can they have my sneakers? Can they have my jersey, my shirt? I didn't understand. To my coach, say that the word fan means fanatic. And I didn't get that till my coach put me on. And then you start to put it all together. So just imagine you got 1 million, 1 billion fanatics all around the world. Watching the game, praying for their team to win, even betting on their team to win. Remember, a lot of these sports owners, they come from gambling backgrounds. And listen, all the owners, that's not their main thing. These teams aren't their main thing, aren't their main thing. All the owners, their teams is like their hobby. They pay billions of dollars to get, because they know they're going to make way more money, and it's a hustle for them. It's a hustle. But they're not in it like we're in it. It's teams in the NBA that have been in the NBA, never been to the championship, never won. And do they care? The Knicks is never going to win a championship. It's over. It's a wrap. But they win every night. Who can tell me why the Knicks win every night? They're undefeated. That's why they're in the biggest market. The Knicks win every night because the arena stays packed. Who cares if you win a championship when we are winning every night? No star player wants to come to the Knicks. It's one of the most heaviest tax teams in the whole NBA. No one wants to come here. No real superstar. Yes, facts. You already know. Mark, definitely. They stay packed. That's one of the hardest tickets. They're winning every night. And listen, here's another thing, right? When you have guys busting their butt to win a championship, and then you have a ceremony. Remember what I said, ceremony. So no matter if you're in a graduation, that's a ceremony. They have us in those black gowns, those hats with the square on the top. And if you fold it up, it's a dunce hat. Do the knowledge what they do to us. It's a ceremony. All of it is a ceremony. All of us been through the ceremony. And you can say you left out smarter than you came in. Really? Did you? Most of us, 99% of the college graduates become a slave, a working slave. I'm one. We go work for somebody else. It kills your dreams. It puts you in the line of tunnel vision. Go to school, graduate, get a good job. Go to school, graduate, get a good job. You rarely get parents that's telling their kids, go to school, find out what you want to become, and then do what you want to become in life. Not what the piece of paper said you can do. Because we all know it's people like that have degrees that can't do the job that they're hired for. Or working in the industry different than the degree that they went to school in, what they went to school for. So it's all a ceremony. So when the guys get their championship ring, they get their ring, you get these big ass men, and you give them a ring at the end. It's like, I got my ring. Oh, look at me. I got my ring. They make guys like Carmelo Anthony feel bad because he doesn't have a championship. They talk about him. Oh, he's never going to win. He's not good enough. Let me tell you this. Carmelo said it himself. Carmelo said that David Stern hold on. Told him everything he was doing. Everything he was doing. Check this out. I want everybody to pay attention and listen.
They may have wondered. I know who you with. I know where you live at. I know where they live at.
Hold on. This is Melo talking. Listen what Melo is saying. Listen what Melo is saying so you understand.
Who you with. I know where you live at. I know where they live at. I know when you close your eyes. I know when you wake up. Damn. So I'm like, you know, you with.
Hold on. So y'all get y'all can see this, all right? This is Melo talking, right?
I know where you live at. I know where they live at. I know when you close your eyes. I know when you wake up. Damn. So I'm like, you know, and I know what they doing. He's telling me, I know what they doing. Mm-hmm. Either tell them to stop or you got to cut them off. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, like how the fuck? Like that's when I knew NBA was part of the feds. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's when I knew. They got him in there. And the little one, and he told me, 4 or 5. He told me, he was just like, man, he said, I gotta make an example out of you. I gotta make an example out of you. Damn. That's a fact. He said, I know everything. I know everything. They do be knowing everything. I know your whole crew. I know who's doing what. You're the best investigators ever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Well, yeah, I get it.
You heard? Y'all heard from his mouth. Okay? It's so much money involved in the NBA. You really think they're going to let you decide what the outcome is going to be? They told Melo, we're going to give you a bad rap for a couple of years and kind of push you out the NBA as well. He had to fight to get back in NBA. Who you know with Melo's skills that they push out of the NBA like that? He's just getting back in a couple of years ago. And this was David Stern was the commissioner. Said, yo, we got to make an example out of you. What about Lenny Cook? Got to get Lenny Cook up here for season 3. Him and his son. That's a promise. Lenny Cook, the #1 player in America. Until that game with LeBron. And LeBron superseded him. They knew they had the one. And I know guys around my way, they all cool with Lenny. But the NBA knew we can't bring another problem child in the NBA. It's going to be too much problems. He's hanging out with the wrong crew. If they're going to invest all this money on you, they watching you. They watching your every move. So, as they're watching Lenny, they don't draft him. Lenny's so good, the Boston Celtics picked him up. He's playing in the Summer League. Do anybody know what happened to Lenny when they played against LeBron? Now Lenny gets a get back. The Cleveland Cavaliers is playing against the Boston Celtics. What happened during that Summer League game? Can anyone tell me? And if y'all guys don't go back that far, I can let you know. Did anybody know what happened during that Summer League game? We all know LeBron bested him at my college, the All-American, the ABC, the All-American camp, and they won the championship. LeBron got MVP, became the #1 player in America after that game. Now, they're in the NBA. Lenny gets a get back. Facts, Mikey. Facts. They benched him. They benched Lenny Cook. Now, who told the Boston Celtics to bench Lenny Cook? There had to be other hands involved. I know Boston didn't come up with that. Let's bench one of our rising players because we don't want him to get a get back against LeBron, which is on another team. Facts. They did him dirty. They did him dirty. So instead of providing him with mentors, making sure that veterans around him, so he's conducting himself the right way, he's with the right people, they did him dirty. Because we all was waiting. We knew what would have went down. Now, let's not pretend like Lenny wasn't that guy. Let's not pretend. We all know what he did and could do, especially back then. He was one of the best, if not the best. We gotta know that. This is a guy from our town. They did him dirty. They didn't let him play against LeBron. That was the golden child. Protect him by all means. Now, this is no knock on LeBron, but I'm just giving you the backstories of what happens in the NBA that they don't really talk about. Who made that call to Danny Ainge? Who made that call? To tell him to sit Lenny the whole game. No get back. No get back. We're not going to let you have a chance of now you're propelling yourself ahead of LeBron because now we got to get behind you. We're not going to let that happen. They were both kids from the hood. One, they saw, he may be a problem. He's hanging out with rappers, maybe a few too many street guys. LeBron from the Midwest, a little bit different. Who we gonna choose on? Who we gonna put our money on? Carmelo just told you. The NBA is like the feds. They know. They know who they want and why they want them. You can't tell me there's not guys who are playing overseas right now, guys who are home right now, who could be in a league putting up numbers. If you don't fit the mold, they don't care. You got to fit the mold. You could be the best, one of the best. My guy King Mega say he was down in LA in the pro leagues killing. Giving guys the business. Phil Jackson, he's not checking for that. If you're not part of the puzzles that they need. This is all scripted. We get lost in it because we're cheering for our favorite team. Now, people will ask me for years, yo, what's your favorite team? And I'll say, I don't have a favorite team. Especially after Mike left. Listen, I was following Michael Jordan. I'm a guy who follows the player who I like. It was Dr. J at first. Dr. J left, it was Michael Jordan. So I became a Bulls fan. Did I like everybody in the Bulls? No, but I knew they had the best player. And I was rocking with Michael Jordan since his freshman year at North Carolina. How did I become a North Carolina fan? Because a group of brothers who I was friends with, they were all going for Georgetown. I had no idea about college basketball. I didn't know who, any player. I knew whoever they picked, I was going to pick the other team. And I was looking on the court, and I was like, wow, there's this guy. He looks similar to me. Wow. And that's how I became a Michael Jordan fan. It just so happens he hit that shot to beat North Carolina, and I was like, this is my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. And that's how it happened for me. That's how it really happened for me. So I followed Michael Jordan throughout his career. When he retired, and I'm talking about the first time, not the second time, I was done. Not with the NBA, but having a favorite team. Because I was at the point when I was grown enough to understand the game. I had played this so long, I understood that as long as I can watch a good game, I'm satisfied. See, I need to watch a good basketball game. And I think that's the problem I'm having today. Because all the teams play the same. Everyone play the same. Penetrate, pitch for three. Penetrate, pitch for three. Penetrate, pitch for three. There's no more great ISO players. They don't allow that anymore. And the reason why I think a lot of these guys are so great, because you can't hand check. So now, without the hand check and the extra defense, you put great players in positions, they're going to be greater than what we actually know. And are these guys a lot skilled? Yes, they are very skilled. They jump higher. Whoop-de-doo. But the games are not better. So, you know, I had to talk about that because sometimes we get so caught up in these games, you know, guys arguing, getting mad, almost coming to blows, and they're not understanding that there was some people in the background who had their hand in fixing the games. What about this dude? He came up referee ranks. And if you check out his story, he's come from the town. His town, I think, produced the most NBA referees. Because there was a referee who mentored a lot of guys in that area, and they went on to become NBA referees. Somehow, he was privy to information that he knew he can use because he was a gambler. So he knew they would have meetings. Do not call any calls for Allen Iverson. I'm going to use AI. We all know AI is one of the best in NBA history, in basketball history. They made sure his life was a living hell. And even the way Allen Iverson's career ended, there was no farewell tour for him. As great as he was, all the fans he brought to basketball, he wasn't appreciated in the NBA. He didn't act the part. He didn't play their role. Everything he did on his own. His greatness. But look how they did Allen Iverson. Made him look bad towards the end of his career. Say he wouldn't come off the bench. And it made that a big thing. And he never said that. They just put that out there so other NBA teams would give him a hard time. Who else they did that to? They did that to Carmelo Anthony. And countless of other ball players. I'm just using those two as examples. When Stephon Marbury wanted to leave Minnesota and be his own man, the NBA made sure he paid for it. And they couldn't wait. So when he left Minnesota, and then they got Sam Cassell, they got Spreewell. Then they made that playoff run. And then after he left the Knicks, they improved, and the Jersey, they improved. They start saying, whatever team Stephon leaves, the team gets better. Putting it on Stephon like it was Stephon's fault. They wanted him to stay in Minnesota because Minnesota was a new team. They were the expansion team. They had to build them up. And then they had the kid, Kevin Garnett, who became their MVP. Right. AI had people dressing like him. He had kids in braids, cornrows. I never seen so many kids wearing braids in basketball, having tattoos. That come from AI, not Dennis Rodman. Y'all have to understand, the more money that's involved, other people are in control of the outcome. It's too much money. People just want to be entertained. They don't want to know the truth. Let's get political for a second. Back in the days, they told us some black Muslims killed Malcolm X. Come to find out, some cops did it. It's no knock on the cops. But I'm just talking about the information we find out years later. They're not going to tell you the truth when you want to hear it. They'll tell you the truth when you lose your fight. When you lose that inner fight, that's when they'll tell you, when you got your guards down and you ain't able to fight anymore. They hit you with the truth. And then a week, that his supposed killers get exonerated after 40 years of being locked up. His daughter dies, R.I.P. So you're never going to be told the truth. I'm telling you guys, I'm predicting the end of sports as we know it in the next few years. It's not going to be relevant anymore. With this new metaverse that's coming in, why would people watch a game when they could be like this in a fake world? Why watch a game when I can watch NBA Live in a fake world? We don't have to pay these guys anything. We'll pay the controllers a couple of dollars, and they'll entertain the masses. Remember, this is coming. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping the metaverse. It's here. What's going to happen to sports? What's going to happen when the truth starts coming out about sports? And who really controls it? And what the outcomes are? This is why I want to get as many stories, especially our New York stories. We have to get these stories, and I don't think people realize how important it is. And I don't want people to wait till it's too late to tell your story. Don't wait too late to tell your story. Somebody's going to write your story for you. And it probably won't be what you like. You probably won't even see it. Your kids will see it. If they record it. Everybody's stories won't get told. But we can document it here. To make sure people understand what sports was really like in the past. Because the truth is going to come out. I'm telling you. The truth is going to come out. And when people start hearing the truth, you're not going to be able to take it. And by the time you figure it out, you ain't going to have no fight in you. Listen, here's a real story. I know this guy, it's an older gentleman. He was an ex-Black Panther. A real Black Panther in New York City. He was one of the guys that helped Assata Shakur leave the country and go to Cuba. He was a real revolutionary. He's older now. He's not old where he's walking on a cane. He's still mobile, but he lost his fight. He lost his will to fight. How do I know? Trust me. He said it to me. Not in so many words, but definitely in his actions and some of the conversations that we had. His will of fight. So no matter how much truth you hear, if you lose your will to fight and stand up and stand 10 toes down, it ain't gonna matter. We have to talk about these things. What's up? What up? Shoot, what up? What's going on? Turbo, what up? This is real talk. Not just here, just talking just to, you know, cause some excitement. This is real. Whatever I speak come from the heart. It's a lot going on that a lot of people don't understand. So next time you're watching a basketball game or any game, watch it through your third eye. Don't watch it with your heart. Don't get caught up in the emotions of it. Because some things that may be happening that you want to question, but you so caught up in the game, you just let it slide. And I was like that. So now I'm watching these games from a different perspective when I watch the old games. And I'm saying, wow, it's a bad call. That didn't happen. Oh, now I understand. Wow, I never knew that the Bobcats or the Charlotte Hornets, wherever that team Chris Paul played for back then, when he wanted to leave and play with Kobe, I didn't know that they didn't have an owner back then, and that David Stern was the administrator for the team. And he vetoed the trade because he said it wasn't in the Hornets' best interest. I thought it was the players' best interest. Because a few days later, they allowed Chris Paul to be traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. Go figure. They won't let him go to Kobe because that means Kobe would have won more championships than he was supposed to win. Sad what happened to my guy, the Mamba, Black Mamba, R.I.P. But did you see that cartoon that they put out of him crashing in the helicopter? And then a few years later, he dies in the helicopter? Who knew? Who was pulling the strings? Who knew that if you type in Kobe, maybe a little bit too deep for y'all, but I'm going to say it anyway. That Kobe in Hebrew is COVID. I'm going to say this again. Kobe in Hebrew is COVID. Who's pulling the strings? And then right after that, we have what we're living in today. I don't want to go off the deep end on y'all because I can go deep down the rabbit hole. So I'm going to keep this straight with basketball. But as they say, King Mega, what they say that he was the best commissioner in all the sports. Y'all need to check out the backgrounds to all the commissioners. Baseball, football, basketball. you'll start to understand who's controlling what. Even Alvis, Adam Silver now. Same tree. It's the same tree. But we're the players. We're the pieces on the pawn, on a chessboard. Because this is chess, not checkers. The fans play checkers. The owners, they're playing chess. The organization is playing chess. These championships is about ratings and money. Money first. But if you can make sure certain markets are in the championship every year, you're going to get your ratings. You're going to get your ratings. No, they didn't want that. They didn't want that. They couldn't have that. And Kobe didn't agree to be part of their team. He said no. It's get down or lay down. Look what's happening to Wendy Williams right now. What did she say on her television show? And then now look what happened. I hope she recovers. I have no qualms with Wendy Williams. I just want to say that. But she said something on her television show. Few weeks, few months. I don't even know if it was that long. She became suddenly ill. It's get down or lay down. And I think us in the sports world, we don't think it pertains to sports. We think it's just all politics as usual. Let me explain something to you, King Mega. Now look, you know why the G League was created, correct? Remember, whenever they give us something, it's not for our benefit. The G League was created to keep certain dudes in a position for a few years to take away some of their years in their prime. Because once they get to the league, it's like starting all over again as a rookie. And if you could suck up a kid's prime years of playing basketball and then get them for the few years that you need them to plug them into your card, to your machine, you can keep it going. And you don't have to pay them that much. They're going to have to be super, super, super good to get those mega contracts. So they create the G League to slow down that money flow. And it keeps certain dudes stagnated there. And whoever they want to bring up, they'll bring up. They got this down to a science. Why do you think it took the NCAA so long to say dudes could profit off their likeness? It wasn't a plan to help the kids. It's never a plan to help us. Let's see how long this lasts. How much college kids gonna get paid. And now there's a new movie coming out. Hold on, where is that? what is called? Tell you right now, because I just was watching it. Oh, National Championship. Check this out. I want everybody to check this out.
It began as a call to adventure.
We're still 24 hours away from the national title game.
Wolves quarterback LaMarcus James should be the best quarterback to come into the NFL since Patrick Mahomes.
And you know who agrees with me on that? Miami. They're poised to take him #1 overall for about $35 million guaranteed. But we are not talking enough about Wolves coach James Laser.
One of the best coaches we've seen, but he has never won the big game.
We're live.
I am joined by LaMarcus James, who won this year's Heisman Trophy.
A revolutionary banging on my adversary. This is the home of my best friend and teammate, Emmett Sunday.
Tomorrow he'll play in a game that will gross over $500 million.
But Emmett won't see a dime. And just like the other 12,000 draft eligible players that don't make the NFL every year, his football days will be over. Zero compensation, zero medical insurance for all the injuries he sustained.
My coach, James Laser, receives an annual salary of $5 million.
The commissioners of the top 5 power conferences receive an average salary of $4 million each year.
The president of the NCAA received a salary of $3.9 million last year. So I'm personally asking all players in Monday's national title game to join me in this boycott to demand that the NCAA will recognize players as paid employees and not student athletes.
Jesus.
Coach, I think it's best if the NCAA took the reins here. LaMarcus is a good person.
We squander a $600 million payday for tomorrow alone.
Everybody around us got private jets and private chefs. You got insurance? What you gonna fix your broken body with, huh?
He makes a compelling argument, and I know I stand behind him. The reality is he's got so much to lose.
Do not let LaMarcus rob you of your legacy.
My football team will play for me.
You two cannot unionize college sports, and that's a fact.
4 players just tweeted we're in, but the hashtag fits the system. It ain't just 2 of us no more. And that's a fact.
We gotta stick together on this, fellas. If he sits, they're gonna Kaepernick him like you.
LaMarcus beat my Nike contract.
These boycotts have gained a lot of momentum.
What happens to all of the other sports that are not men's football and basketball when they start paying you?
Everybody do it. Everybody do it.
LaMarcus is standing toe-to-toe with the behemoth, and we haven't even begun the fight. Glory is at hand.
God is with us. He said there is nothing to lose.
Glory is yours.
I am Jesus, and there is nothing to fear.
Glory is ours.
It starts right now. It starts right here. Take it.
Y'all see this? And they built it up as a black and white thing, right? You got the black player, white coach. Same narrative. Same narrative. It's like they're saying that the black player is the only player that's playing college sports, which is BS. It's us against them. That's how they got it. And it's coming out in the theaters. What do you think is going to be the reaction? What do you think now college guys, you know, they're saying it already, and some of them are getting paid. Not getting paid like these guys want. What up, fam? This is real talk. Now they put in the movies. I told you, they're going to start telling you the truth when you don't have to fight. Happy holidays to you and your family. This is what they're going to do. We're going to start hearing and seeing more. You're going to see. This is the revealing time. 2020, we're going to start to see it all. 2021, 2022, 2024. And let me tell you, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but something big is coming before 2030 that's going to affect us all. Are you going to be able to stand up and fight? Or is your fight going to be gone? Because now you know the truth. Once you know the truth, and once your eyes has been opened, you can't close them no more. You're going to have to stand in your reality. And I'm talking through sports to let you know that the world is changing all around us fast. And those who have played sports, we can sit back and understand it a little bit better than most who haven't played it. And even people who haven't played it understand what's going on, but maybe they lost their fight. Yo, K.A., yo, bro, I was just talking about you and an interview that we had and how you explained to me that the best time you had playing basketball was in high school. And I understand, because the business of basketball wasn't involved. Right? Your coach, Jack Curran, didn't have the big sneaker contract. People wasn't scalping tickets. Well, they probably was in high school. Your games is crazy. Everybody wanted to see you play. But for the most part, we knew the best team was going to win. You didn't win all your games. But you had fun and you knew it was pure. Once college kicked in, you're on TV, somebody getting paid. Sneaker contracts, somebody getting paid. Your arena is packed every night because you're there, somebody getting paid. And they're there to see you. And we're not even going to talk about what happened in the pros, because that's multi-billions of dollars. But I understand you, legend. When you said, yo, G, the best time I had was in high school. So I'm going to tell these kids, take advantage of your time that you have to play sports when it's pure. Because each level that you step up to, it turns into a business. And not too many people are prepared for that next level. Yeah, we still in it. Yeah. It hasn't stopped. But are we going to let them tell us who to like, who to cheer for, and why? Don't lose the love that you have for the game and the people who made you love the game. But just know, for every great organization, for every great team, there's a story behind what really goes on and what really happens on a pro level. You heard the movie. The coach ain't winning years. He ain't win a championship in years. We talking about the movie I just played, National Champion. The coach ain't win, but the coach is getting paid millions. And they're recruiting people, players, who sometimes may coming from good situations. And no matter if the school or the coach wins, he's getting paid. And if he don't get paid there, if he's fired, he's going to another school and get paid. That don't happen too much for the black coach. And I don't want to make it a color thing, because I don't want to get into that. But it's something that happens. But I'm just going on the movie. You have the black player going up against the white coach. Listen, Kaepernick had everybody taking a knee. Cap, go Cap, go Cap, go Cap. What happened? He got paid by the NFL, and now there's no cap, no cap, no cap. You know, the kids were saying, that's saying, I'm not lying, but I'm saying, no Kaepernick. They give him a movie on Netflix, documentary. He's been quiet ever since because he had to take the money so he'd be quiet and not speak. And we felt for the okie doke. We fell for the okie doke. And he's nowhere to be found anymore. Where's the Afro? Where are you, Afro? You ain't around anymore. But when the people lose their fight, when you lose your fight, you forget. We forgot. We forgot Kaepernick was taking a knee for black justice. Black people are still getting killed. No Kaepernick. He's not even playing no more. So he can say what the hell he wants. No Kaepernick. No Kaepernick. Where the hell are you? Who told him to sit down? And I think we so busy in our lives, sometimes we forget. It's the same thing with the Malcolm X situation. It's the same thing. They told us black Muslims killed them. I remember my brother who was locked up in prison with those guys. He wrote me a letter and told me he was locked up with the guys who killed Malcolm X. Come to find out, they never did it. Spent 40 years in prison. And as they've been exonerated, the daughter's found dead. And we still watching and believing in sports and believing in these championship teams and the guys getting their rings, that they're the ones creating the outcome. I explained to you, LeBron James won his first championship June 19th on King James' birthday. What is his nickname? King James. And King James from the Bible was down with a secret society called the Cavaliers. Go look it up. I don't have to lie to you. It's not a coincidence. But Allen Iverson, who changed the culture of basketball, how people dress, behave. He wasn't wild. He didn't get locked up. He wasn't selling drugs. He never dressed in a suit. So why when he come to the NBA, he gonna be suit and tied up? That's not him. He's a professional now. He should be able to do what he wants to do. So when he comes with the chains on, with the bandana, who was wearing a bandana like that before AI? You had a few guys in the 70s doing it, but who was wearing bandanas before AI? Who had the cornrows before AI? Who had the tattoos? Now you look, the whole NBA's doing it. Dudes got braids, dreads, tattoos everywhere. If you're not doing it their way, they don't want it. They don't want it. They will knock all these guys for not winning NBA championship. You never hear them talk about Charles Barkley not winning the NBA championship. And so many countless other players. Oh, Carmelo, he'll never win. He's such a selfish player. And I will always ask guys, championship or the check? Which C do you want? The championship or the check? Championship or the check? You know, I had guys ought to be down ball players. Yeah, but a chip solidifies you as a. Who said that solidifies you? By whose standards? There's so many guys who have made millions of dollars and was able to take care of their family for generations. You think their kids who are able to go to private school, live in a different neighborhood, going, Daddy, you never won a championship. You think those kids care? You think dudes who are sitting back, comfortable, able to retire, and never have to work a day in their life? Salute Kwame Brown for everything you're doing. I never hear Kwame complaining about not winning the championship. I don't know if he did or not. They called him a bust. He didn't care. He's able to take care of his family forever. What's the most important thing? That ring or that check? Some of those guys sold that check. Sold that championship ring because there was no more check. Facts. Facts. Charles Barkley going to buck for the system as long as they pay him that check. Stephen A. Smith said he wakes up every day thinking about how can he make his boss more money at ESPN. So this is why every time he gets a chance, he drags players that look like him through the mud. Like my guy Kyrie. Kyrie took a stance. He didn't want to get the jab. Stephen A. called him stupid, selfish. Aaron Rodgers lied about getting the jab. Stephen A. took it easy on him. One day he probably went out and said a few things, but he didn't drag him through the mud like he dragged Kyrie. Dude got caught smoking weed. Dragged them all through the mud. The owner got caught drunk driving. Took it easy on him. It's crazy how we know who to attack. So we can be safe. I'm telling you now, the metaverse is coming. There's nothing you can do to slow it down. What's going to happen when kids are here and not watching reality? What's going to happen? Is NBA Live going to take over? What's going to happen when kids are doing this all day? They're not going to be watching games. They're not going to be watching reality. So something is going to happen. Something is going to happen to get people focused into this fake world. Yes, of course they would have. Of course they would have. But I'm telling you, it may be the end of sports as we know it. Who knows what's going to be the effect of all of those kids? All of those kids is playing high school sports who took the jab, who going to play college sports, who have to take the jab and to go into the pros. The effects, what effects is that going to have on their game? And we're not talking about now. I'm talking about the long run. See, we're not talking about a few weeks, a few months. They don't play that game. They play the long game. They play the long game. This is why they could tell us 40 years later, oh, we exonerated those guys who killed Malcolm X because they didn't do it. Sorry. Look at this. It's crazy. I don't know what got into me today.
We're loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us.
This week marks 56 years since civil rights activist Malcolm X was assassinated.
Hold on. We love everybody. We are peaceful people. We are loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us.
Listen, I'm going to keep it 100, right? If all my years of playing basketball, whenever a white guy or a Chinese guy came into our parks and played with us, and they were good, we gave them love. I'm talking about in the most hood of hood places. If a white guy showed up and he can ball, you could have been purple, you could have been orange. We would give you love like, oh, the white boy got game. If a white guy or a Chinese dude could rap and then spit some bars, we are amazed and we'll give them props. We don't go to attack them. That don't happen in our neighborhoods. I just had to say that. All right, back to this.
This week marks 56 years since civil rights activist Malcolm X was assassinated right here in New York City. For decades, there have been many questions around the circumstances of his death and whether the three men convicted of his murder were actually the people responsible. Well, at a news conference last Saturday, Malcolm X's daughter heard a letter for the very first time that they say is evidence that the NYPD and the FBI conspired to have their father assassinated. CBS This Morning Saturday co-host Michelle Miller explains what this could mean for Malcolm X's legacy.
All right. So that news comes out, and what happens the other day? The daughter's found dead. R.I.P. Thank you, fam. Look, One day I'll come on here and tell my story. But this is crazy when we think about all of these things that's happening, right? And a lot of times we get hit with so much news and so much information, it's hard to suck up everything. It's hard to get through our minds what's really going on, what's really happening. And these people sit up there, they dress nice, they look all professional, and they tell us, well, here's the news, not knowing they read the script. Everyone who tells you the news is reading a script. No one, no newscaster, I don't care what channel you're on, they're all reading a script. So y'all gonna tell me all this stuff going on in the news, and we're gonna leave basketball out like there's no foul play going on in basketball? Really? We're gonna sit back and really think that, like, oh, sports is fun. It's not tampered with. Word. Now, it's crazy how I'm supposed to be on here selling sweatshirts like I've been doing early on. If you want a sweatshirt, DM me today. If you DM me today, you'll get it for $40. Anything after that, after today, they're going back to $50. We got to make sure that we're able to give people their pictures, man. This costs money. Okay? For a whole year, I've been doing this out of my pocket for the love. Whole year and a half, I've been sending out pictures. But we got some merch, and it's quality, right? Definitely quality merch. The logo here, you got the logo here, right? You got my basketball man here, and you got our slogan in the back. But I think the spirit took over me, and for 2 hours I've been talking about some of the truth that go on behind the scene in sports, social matters, and politics. Not too much of the politics, more on the sports side. But this is where we at with it. This is what Basketballheadzz is about. We don't just give you knowledge of the past. We give you knowledge of the future and what to look forward to. I just want to know what's going to happen when this comes into play. How is sports going to survive if people are tapped into the metaverse? How do we watch sports anymore? Right now in the metaverse, they're buying fake real estate. It's people making millions of dollars in this already. Travis Scott gave the first concert on a video game. You see what he's a part of. You saw what happened to his last concert. The 8 flames, right? 8 flames. And then what they said, 8 people died, even though there was more. I don't think you understand, people. Travis Scott, 8 flames, 8 flames. And look, they show you. Look, the one thing they're going to do, They're going to show you.
Deals for days isn't over.
They're going to show you what they want you to look at. That's how television works. And they put the images in your brain. But they tell you what they want you to look at.
This morning, Houston reeling after deadly chaos at a music festival. At least 8 people killed and dozens injured when a crowd surged last night at the city's Astro World Festival. One of those hurt, just 10 years old.
Approximately 9 o'clock, 9:15, the crowd...
1,000 people in the crowd there to see headliner rapper Travis Scott, who also organized the festival to raise funds for his youth charity, the Cactus Jack Foundation. But earlier in the day, possible warning signs of a situation spinning out of control. Hundreds of festival goers storming past security, surging through metal detectors, and
I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but when he came out, when it was Travis Scott time to come out and perform, he came out to 8 flames shooting up in the sky as soon as he came out. And then what was recorded after that? 8 people died at the Travis Scott concert. This is not a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence in America. This is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a coincidence that happens in sports. Valerie, got you. Please DM me, Valerie. I got you. I got you 2X in black. Please DM me. I'm going to write your name down. Yeah, Valerie Malcolm. Yeah. You said, what's that? A 2X in black. Got you. Make sure you DM me, all right? We'll make that happen. So once we know that nothing happens in this world or in America, let's just say in America, nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing. Everything is orchestrated. And once we understand that, we'll understand that we're here for a reason. If you are a live soul and you're watching me right now and you're living in this world, you chose to come back here. We all chose to come back here. You just have to figure out why you're here. That's the thing. You got to figure out the why. Why are you here? Are you just here to be the flyest on the block? To be the richest? Are you here to help people? Are you here to inform or educate? Are you here to steal, murder, rob, cheat? Why are you here? A good movie I think people should check out. It's called Soul. Check that out. You got some good knowledge in there. Figure out why you came back. And then once you understand why you're here, and understand your purpose, then maybe you won't lose your fight. Or maybe the reason why you came here was just for the experience. Because that's all it is. It's one big experience. And how these people are in control, they look at it as an experiment, as a game, because they know the truth. We don't know the truth. I always wondered why that movie, that movie? Who can tell me that movie with You Can't Handle the Truth? What was that movie called? Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, right?
Alexa, pon nuestra canción favorita.
Vale.
This is one of the greatest scenes in movie history. And I always wondered why they kept playing that part over and over. And what was the significance of this?
You snotty little bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
If Lieutenant Kendrick gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred? Colonel, Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Object! When you went bad, you cut these guys loose. Your Honor, you had Marcus inside the body transfer. Your Honor, you doctored the logbook. Damn it, Captain! Consider yourself in contempt. Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
They was talking to us. See, a lot of times we think the dialogue in these movies are just scripts for the actors to act and say. This information is for us. See, what we got twisted is we start looking at the news. Now look, when I was a youngster, I used to always see people on a train reading newspapers. And I didn't get into reading the newspaper until I was in it. Y'all can see, right? I wasn't into getting the newspaper until I was in it. More articles, right? See Glenn Harding right there. Until I was in it. And then it made me feel good when I could start from the front of the paper and make my way towards the back. Because when I first started reading the newspaper, I was starting the sports section. But I'm getting to be a teenager and I'm coming to my own, and I'm figuring if I'm watching the news, if I'm reading the news, I'll be informed. And then I'll come home and I'll watch the nightly news. Well, not the nightly news, because the first part of the news come on first, like Eyewitness News, Channel 4. That's a murder. Someone got shot. Oh, there's a sale going on at Macy's, whatever they're giving us, right? Up and down. And then you get the serious news. Tom Brokaw, nightly news. It seemed like that was for the adults because it was a little more intense. And I wouldn't watch that. And I never knew why, because there was a difference. In the first part of the news that come on, 6:30 or 6 o'clock to 6:30, the nightly news come on, and it was a little different than the regular news. And I never knew the difference. And I never knew everyone was reading a script. And as I got older and become more informed, and I become the news, I'm on the news, I am the news. You start looking at it from a different perspective. So, for those of you that don't know, America tells you the truth in movies. I know it's kind of hard. I know. Let that sink in for a minute. I know you're not really understanding what I'm saying. America tells you the truth in movies because your antennas are down. You think you're being entertained. So you want to be entertained? And when we watch the news, our antennas are up because we think at this time they're telling us the truth. And we get tricked. We get tricked. And we start to watch the news and think we're becoming informed and not knowing. This is crazy, right? What is it called? Just had the tip of my tongue. What's my Die Hard? There you go. Check this out, y'all. That's the first Die Hard movie. See that? What was they trying to tell us? That came out in 1988. Same year I won this MVP trophy. Die Hard came out in 1988. And what do they have? The Twin Towers exploded. You think that's by accident? Come on, y'all. Really? And then 1995, Die Hard with a Vengeance. I think that's with Samuel L. Jackson. Yep. They showed y'all what took place, what they was going to do once the towers came down. You remember the big gold heist that they had in the movie? Now, I don't want to put y'all on overload because I know we was talking basketball, but since we're going down this rabbit hole, I just want to continue a little bit. When I was younger, I used to have the Inspector Gadget. No, it was the Dick Tracy, excuse me. The Dick Tracy phony watch phone. Remember Dick Tracy back in the days of the cartoon? He had the watch phone. Well, I had the toy one, and I would flip it open and would just make a noise. I hear that, Val. And then years later, we got the Apple phone, the smartphone. It's called predictive programming. If they could put it in your mind and then years later come out with it, we'll forget. Like, oh, they was telling us for years ago that this was going to happen. So when I showed you that movie National Championship, where the black guy is fighting for the white guy and explaining to people that he lives on the sticks, the white guy lives on the sticks, and his coach is making millions of dollars and they need to get paid. Isn't that crazy? I don't want to make, I'm telling you how they put the movie. They got the black guy fighting the white guy's fight against the white coach. And they got the black dude, he got the cornrows like Allen Iverson. So you're on a revolutionary, he's not one of us, he's an outcast. Don't have him in a regular cut. They got who they think is the person that's going to get out of line as the main actor. So we buy into the story. If they tell us Michael Jackson using drugs, how is he going to die? They said Prince have a drug problem, how is he going to die? And then we believe the story. Not saying everyone, but that's what they put out. And we just roll with the punches. I don't want to be on here too long yapping. I just want to drop some knowledge, y'all. Let y'all know what we doing here at Basketball Heads. We're still promoting our products. We got these hoodies here. Got them in red. We got them in orange. Check this out. Look at this, turquoise. Look at this. I can sell y'all products all day, but I think the knowledge that I was sharing for y'all, hopefully, the people that's on this live right now who have been checking in, they understand that's a bigger fight. And we got to support each other because all we got is us. All we got is us. You have some knowledge, share it with people. Open somebody's heart, open somebody's mind, mentor someone. I like to give a big shout out to Chauncey Coleman. It's a young man who just lost his father. R.I.P. Phil Coleman. This young man saw his father pass away on a basketball court right in front of his eyes. I can only imagine what he's going through. Saw the young man the other day, and I let him know if he needs me, if he needs some support, someone to come to his games or to work out with, or just shoot some baskets with, or even talk, they can give me a call. I don't do these things for props, and I'm not saying these things for you guys to give me dap. I'm just telling you the life that I live. We got to figure out why we here. I never knew that I'll be doing this. I never was on Instagram Live before I started Basketball Heads. I never wanted to be in front of the camera. Everyone that knows me knows, I come from the hip hop world. After playing sports, I put out DVDs. I never was the guy in front of the camera. I always put the artist first because I thought that's how it should be. I wasn't out there glamorizing myself. But it wasn't until the Great Conjunction happened. I don't think you guys understand what happened on December 21st, 2020. The Great Conjunction happened. So, the Great Conjunction is when the two biggest planets in our solar system, Saturn and Jupiter, are closest. And what happens, there's a great thrust of energy that comes through our consciousness. It elevates those who wants to be elevated and inspire those who wants to be inspired, whose hearts are open for great things to happen. I experienced that. This is why we have basketball heads here today. For some reason, the Most High knew I was someone that needed to be inspired or was waiting to be inspired. I wasn't sitting around waiting for it. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't even know the Great Conjunction was happening. I had to go research this and figure out what was going on because this platform happened. And it took my life in a different direction. It's always a just, humble guy. For anybody out there that know me or been knowing me for years, I'm the same Pooh. But through this, I was able to connect with Full Court Peace and get the Coliseum redone. Now, let me tell you a little story about this. And then I'll explain to you what the Great Conjunction is. And I want you guys to do your own research on it as well. There's this guy in my neighborhood named Doug. Doug comes from a family of brothers. 2 of his brothers were murdered. And another young brother is still alive. Doug is a guy, right now, he's not the same guy that we grew up with. I'm not going to badmouth him because he's a good guy. Doug would see me. And I'm going to reenact what he would do. For 5 years, he did this. Whenever he would see me in the neighborhood, he would say, Pooh, Pooh, the Coliseum, the Coliseum, the kids got to play, the kids got, and for the first year, I felt good. I was like, damn, a guy in the neighborhood sees me as someone that can make change. I'm going to keep it real, people. About 2 years of that shit, I got tired of hearing it. Honestly. Because I knew I didn't have the motivation. Not saying I didn't have the motivation, but knowing the politics that happens in our neighborhood, I knew that court never was going to get fixed. It looked like an empty pool. But for the first year, I kind of gloated in it for all the wrong reasons. And then my emotions switched because now I would avoid him because I didn't want to hear this. 3 years later, start Basketballheadzz. I'm interviewing Darlene Milley, who's the councilwoman, who's the person who had the power to fix it in the past but never did. And now she's coming on the show with a promise of fixing the court. So I did a little video to make sure she keep her word. And I put the video up the day before, the same day she was about to come on the show. So I put the video with her words. My guy Cal, for more things hoops, forward the video to Full Court Peace. Full Court Peace did hit me up and said, let's do it. I'm in. I like what you're doing. Let's make it happen. 30 years, this court been decimated. And we was able to get it fixed. How did Doug know? We don't hang out. I never told him I had a plan. The Most High was using Doug as a vehicle to let me know you're going to do something great for your community. I don't take credit for all this. Remember, I told you it's Doug. Doug sparked it. And it got done. It was people in the community that contacted me and was saying, how were you able to get this done? We've been trying for years. And I want to give a big shout out to the Brevoort Restoration, the Brevoort Coliseum Restoration Community, which I am a part of now. You have people hit me up like, yo, we was upset. How do you get this done? And we were trying, and the Most High used me as a vehicle. That's all I can say. I don't take credit for none of this. So when things like this happen in your life, you got to sit back and reflect. It ain't the time to pull out the pom-poms and pat yourself in the back. Kids were able to play this summer. And we named it after a great man who passed away. And that's another thing. The man who we named it after, Thomas Diggs, who was a mentor and coach to us all growing up. He passed away a month after we got the court named in his honor. And that's Trey's and Trevor Diggs' father. R.I.P. Mr. Diggs. You can't tell me that ain't the Most High work. After we named in his honor, we lost him. And people were saying, you know, yo, G, man, who knew? We didn't know. We just knew we was honoring a great man in our community who did something great for all of us, who gave us a chance to lead a neighborhood and play the sport we loved. This took us all by surprise. So when I seen that happen, I knew greater forces were at hand. I don't go to church. I don't practice a religion. But I know the Most High and my ancestors watch over me every day. And as long as your heart in the right place, you'll be able to do great things. And that leads me to the Great Conjunction. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Mega. Thanks, Flea. Appreciate you. Got you. Now, I will play a short little clip. Hope you guys get it. This comes from Jim Henson's The Muppets, right? I used to always wonder why. I heard rumors back in the days, you know, they killed Jim Henson. And I was like, the guy who do the Muppets? For what? He make Muppet movies. Not knowing he was dropping jewels in his movies. See, you have good people out there who do movies for us to let us know what to be aware of. And then you got those people who put movies out there to put things in our minds so when it happens, we'll see it happen as if it's a movie. It's kind of hard to explain. You got to chill out with me for a while for you to get it. But hopefully for most of you guys, it'll sink in. Check this out. I know I've been showing y'all mad clips. That's the only way I can do this to help you guys understand where I'm coming from.
What's it for? Is that what you want to know? You want to know what this is all about? Is that it, Gelfling? You don't know? You've never looked at the heavens. Everything in the heavens is here, moving as the heavens move. This is how to know when. That's what. Suns, moons, stars. Yes, the angle of eternity. That's how I know it's coming. How else can I make the prediction? 1,000 years ago, there was a great conjunction. I was there. 3 suns lined up. That's when the crystal cracked. That's when the Skeksis appeared. And the Mystics. Another great conjunction coming up. Anything can happen. The whole world might burn up. End of order. Better have your shard before that, Gelfling. Now, ask what the Great Conjunction is. What's the Great Conjunction?
What's the Great Conjunction? You tell me.
The Great Conjunction is the end of the world. Oh, the beginning?
All right, you saw what she did? She put the triangle to her eye. That's a whole nother conversation, right? And the Muppets she called them Girthling, right? Like Earthling, right? She said it could be the beginning or the end. Depends which way you look at it. These people that control the world, no. Time is up. But what they do, they throw distractions. They create hysteria. They throw the pandemic. They say this is happening. This is really happening. And then we got another variant. Then we have another variant called Omicron, which means small in Greek. So you got to pay attention to the words that they throw at you. They knew this time was coming. And they had to do something to make sure people don't experience what's happening. I'm telling you, I had no idea I was going to come on and talk about this. The whole point of me coming on was to sell my sweatshirts. Honestly, I'm going to keep it 100. But sometimes the Most High takes you in a different direction. And what I've learned is sometimes when you just go with the flow, not all the time. But when the Most High is staring you and you go with the flow and you let it all out, that's the direction you're supposed to go. I know we started talking about sports and it ended up in here, down this rabbit hole. But that's all sports is. It's just that people are experiencing it in real time. They're experiencing it in real time. It's happening right in front of their face. And the only thing I'm saying is, what's going to happen when it's not here no more? Are you going to believe then? Are you going to believe that if you have your kid or you buy your kid that virtual reality and have them tapped into that metaverse, there's no coming back? Reality will cease to exist. If the whole world is decimated and they can have you tapped into this fake world and have you be what you want to be, would you want to participate in reality anymore? Because that's what our kids are growing up into. It's a brave new world for real. Understand what we up against. Understand that sports is just here to entertain us. But the stories that the people have experienced while playing those sports are real. What they are experiencing in real time. Their stories are all different. Your stories are going to get people through what's coming. Because people are going to be searching for things that happened in the past so they can understand what's happening now and all the things that they missed out on in the past, that they was moving too fast in their regular life to kind of get once this gets here. I'm telling you it's coming. So all you people who got kids, make sure you educate them the right way. I knew this from when I was younger. For some reason, I knew I was never going to have kids. And anybody who knows me know I love kids. I love children. I love to help the youth. That's one of my reasons of coming back here. You know, I started as a substitute teacher in regular ed high school. Then I became a full-time teacher, 5th grade. And then I taught in a Christian school for a year. Got to experience that, taught 4th grade. And then I moved on to where I'm at right now, where I teach in a special ed high school that I've been blessed to be at for 20 years, helping some of the kids that really need our help. Changing lives, for real. All the kids who got kicked out of regular ed high school, all the kids that said something was wrong with them, that they was mentally disturbed. And it's mostly young black boys. Special ed, the foster care system, and the prison system are made up of black and brown boys. I'm going to say it again. The special ed school system, foster care, and the prison system is made up of mostly young black boys. Do we have girls at our school? Yes. But it's far in between compared to how many boys we have every year. It just doesn't happen by coincidence. Remember, I'll tell you, nothing happens in America by chance. Nothing happens at the highest levels of sports by chance. So I started to figure out, I'm here to help those who are considered the lost and the forgotten. On my Basketballheadzz show, it's not about that. It's here to give those guys and girls a chance to tell their story. Some of them people know about. A lot of them people forgot about. This Sunday, I got an interview with this young man from upstate New York, Max Snyder. We're going to get a chance to hear his story. And hopefully we get some more upstate guys, some Mount Vernon guys, Rochester guys, Buffalo, Shenandoah Ho, and all that. Chance to tell their story. I'm just here to be used as a vehicle for people to tell their stories and give a little knowledge along the way. Today was just supposed to be about me selling my products. But it turned into something else. So goes my life. Never claimed to be the greatest business person. Don't brag about being the richest. The money never really impressed me. It's good to have it. We know we live in a capitalist society. They know you have to pay for everything. See that? You got to pay for everything. Nothing's free here. But when we talk about supporting each other, I get more people supporting me that I don't know or how I just met than people who I know. I'm going to keep it a buck. And this is my other phone, right? So, if you're looking, this says contacts, right? I'm going to scroll, right? You see that? You see how much I just scrolled just now? And I'm just up to J. You see how many times I just scrolled? Like, I done hit it like about 10, 20 times. And I'm only up to K. When we go some more, look, I'm hitting it every time. And I'm just up to P. Most people do that. They're finished with all their contacts. I know folks. I know a lot of folks. But I'm blessed to have those people who I've just met, made a connection with, and support me in a heartbeat. And then we got people who know you, take you for granted. It's a sad thing. You know, we go shop at these stores with these people's last name so we can have somebody's last name on us. And we feel good about it. And those people never look like us. A lot of times we're ashamed to wear something that's Black owned. And right now, I'm just talking to my people right now. What's the hookup? Can I get one for free? Yeah, that's my man doing it. He just hooked me up. I'm not saying all people, because there's some people who I do know that support me in a heartbeat. So, you know I'm not talking about you. This is real talk. My guy, Jamel Powell, he do this artwork. He do it for free. He don't ask me for a dime. He never asks anyone that they had to pay for this artwork. Let me show y'all. People will pay for this. You heard me? You see this? You see this? You see this? My guy does that for free. Most of the people that we interview live out of town, so I got to ship that out, and that got to come out of my pocket. And I've been doing this for 1.5 years now, paying out. Not complaining, and I'm not complaining now, but I'm explaining to you why it's important that y'all support this. These are quality hoodies, and I'm making sure when you walk around, we got pride in our city. When you look down, you know, and dudes see you wearing that, right? Because I got the black man, real talk. And I got the white man on here. Everything that we do is strategic. It's not about the color line or the color barrier, because I don't believe in that. But we make sure that we spread love. And tonight was something I had to do. You know, we come on here, we talk about basketball all the time. But I had to give y'all a little backstory of why I do some of the things I do, so you get to understand me a little bit more. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. Maybe I'll do this with a guest one day. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. Hopefully, you got something out of this conversation, because it's been going on 3 hours right now that I've been talking to you guys and girls. We'll make sure that, you know, we ain't going nowhere. So while everybody tapped into that metaverse, I'll still giving interviews in real time. People be telling their stories. Season 3, we will be stepping it up. So you're going to be seeing a different version of Basketballheadzz coming to you soon. I couldn't sit around and wait, you know, for my studio to get hooked up to where it's supposed to. You know, look, I got the whole setup, man. See? I got the whole setup. Microphone, mix board, got another microphone down there. In the beginning, I was so caught up on the stuff that I didn't have, I knew if I didn't jump on this and get these stories, that it'll never happen. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. So, one of my guys was like, you know, you can do it on Instagram Live. And I was like, nah, I didn't want to do that. I didn't know how the people was going to respond. So I called my guy, Tiny Morton, and we did the first show. And that was the first time he was on live as well. And then after that, it inspired him to do a show. You know, it lasted a few months. And he got to have all his ex-players come on and tell their stories. But I'm glad I stepped out and made something happen. because you never know who you're going to inspire. You never know who life you might change. Should I have my guy send me a DM and tell me that him watching my show helped him get over demons he had for 40 years of getting cut from his high school team 4 years in a row? My guy Mo Les, who's a Brooklyn basketball legend, but he didn't make his high school team at Boys High, and it affected him. Here we talking about a grown man who's successful in his own right, raised his son, become a college player, now playing overseas. But even all the things he accomplished on the streets, he still felt like he was less than because he got cut from his high school team, seeing all the guys who made it. And after coming on the show, telling his story, even before that, he let me know, listen to other guys' story, helped him get over his hump for 40 years. So those are the things I'm impressed by. I don't check for the numbers, how many people watching me. I don't see how many times people like my stuff or view it. I'm a poster. And if I don't stop by your page and like it, I'm not a scroller. Honestly, I just post to the gram, Facebook. I'm on Apple, Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok and Triller. Facebook and all that. So a lot of people said, I see you on Facebook. But when I post Instagram, it goes to Facebook and Twitter. But if you DM me or if you send me a message, I'll make sure I get back to you. That's what I do. So, glad you guys were able to tune in for 3 hours. Some of you guys been here the whole time. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. Trust me. Seeing the DMs and all the inspirational messages I get, especially for the young guys and the guys who my age, my ex-teammates, all the guys who I came up playing ball with, against, the guys who I watched growing up. That's what's important to me. Well, I'm about to get out of here. I'm all talked out. Gotta go get a salad. I know it's a little bit late, but a salad would be cool. I appreciate you. And I love all of my basketball heads. I really mean that. I'm Glenn Pooh Harding, and you've been watching the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.